What's going on, guys? Welcome along to another video. I'm Matt over at DSR, and today's a good day. Two things: one, the sun is up, and two, wait for it, she is back on two wheels, but she doesn't ever get up to the line. She's always behind me. There she is. Zoe is back on the road. She is out today testing Yamaha MT-09. I am on the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT. Now, it was going to be the GT Plus, but sadly the GT Plus is not ready. So I thought, why not take out the standard GT, so then when the GT Plus is ready, I can do a little bit of comparison between them as well. It is hot again today, 23 degrees, I'm sweating out. Let's get some movement going. Start us off with the engine then. This is Yamaha's Crossplane 3 engine, 890cc. Now, I believe 117 brake horsepower and 93 Nm torque. If I got that wrong, I'll put it on the screen now. But you know me, very rarely wrong. Only joking, get things wrong all the time. I'm going to be taking a little bit easy today. Zoe hasn't been on a bike in 3 or 4 months due to having some surgery, so I need to let her break into it nice and gentle. Don't want her trying to push it to keep up with me. Ergonomics then, looking at this bike, I'm 6'1", I'm a big lad, I'm 115 kilos, and the seat does feel a little bit hard at the minute. I've only literally just jumped on it, so we will see how it goes throughout the day. The pegs are kind of in a nice, natural, comfortable position, in front of the hips but behind the knees. Handlebars, nice, comfortable in front of me. Overall, ergonomically, it's a comfortable bike to ride, and that's handy because this is obviously going to be aimed at those guys who want to do a bit of touring, or they just want a comfortable, decent engine. Yeah, I'll say it's comfortable. I do feel the kind of seat to peg height ratio is a little bit short, so my knees are actually a little bit bent, even though the pegs are in a comfortable position. I believe the peg height could be adjusted, or if they can't, you can get aftermarket pegs just to kind of give yourself a little bit more leg room. Or if you're shorter, you've got no dramas. I believe this bike has got the touring pack on, and that is donated by this large touring windscreen in front of me. We've got a back box and centre stand as well. The windscreen is adjustable with the centre bit there. Pinch it and then you can slide it up and down. Currently got it into the highest position, and the wind is kind of right at the top of my head, so a good amount of wind protection whilst you are doing those long journeys. Let's put it down into the lowest, and it's kind of at my eyebrow level, a little bit noisier in the helmet. Bearing in mind I'm only doing 35-40 miles an hour. When we get out to the nationals, I'll adjust it again, and I'll see how much wind noise there is at 60, 65. Here we go then, 60 miles an hour. There is quite a lot of wind noise at the top of my helmet, with the screen in its lowest position. Yeah, you raise it up and you can definitely tell the difference in noise level. The good thing as well, in the highest position, it's well out of my eye line, so I could have it in the highest position and it not interfere with me when I'm riding, especially when I'm in the twisties. So me personally, yes, I like this tall screen, and I would just leave it in its highest position. Oh, get some fresh air. Oh yes. Why do you always stop so far behind me? So coming through this small little village, 20 miles an hour. There are 4 different rider modes. I'm currently in 1. I believe 1 is the strongest, so like sport, and 4 will either be rain or custom. Even in the sportiest rider mode, it's really easy to keep it at 20 miles an hour. The fueling on this is really nice, going on and off the throttle, and there's barely any movement to my body. Sometimes some bikes it's like this, and it just doesn't want to hold at 20. But this bike is, yeah, fueling, pucker. So hopefully you can still hear me with the screen in the highest position. where it does flick it up so much, I can have my visor up and not get a whole lot of wind to the eyes. Some bikes you're getting absolutely battered and you can't have your visor up, but on a hot day like today, being able to have your visor up and still be able to comfortably see in front of you is a win for me. I like it. What a lovely day we're having today. It's been absolutely miserable the last couple of weeks. It's going to be miserable next week as well. But then it's heat wave everywhere else in Europe. I love the UK. Let's move on to the electronics package in this motorcycle then. So remember, you got the Tracer 9, you got the Tracer 9 GT, and now you got the Tracer 9 GT Plus. This is the GT. On the GT, we've got LEDs all round. We've got cornering lights that they get progressively brighter. I believe they initiate when you get to a 7-degree lean angle, and actually the more you get, the brighter they get. At the front, we've got twin 3.5-inch TFT screens. Me personally, I don't really like the look of it. If you've seen the GT Plus, that's got a whole new screen. It's like a 7.5-inch single TFT, and I think that looks really nice. But this twin setup, I'm not a big fan. What they've got on the left hand side, that's your traditional screen, so your speed, gear, fuel, all that information. And then on the right hand side, you can obviously adjust. There's 4 squares, you can adjust them. But at the minute, they've got showing air temp, engine temp, trip 1, and trip 1 again because I haven't changed it. We do have quick shifter up and down, and as you'd expect with the Yamaha, it's silky smooth. It works really nice. There's so far absolutely no issues with it. So there are 4 different rider modes. It's going to be like sport, street, rain, and then custom or user. Obviously the custom user one, you can go and adjust the parameters yourself. Those are going to be adjusted by the big arrow buttons on the left hand side of the handlebar. You literally just push them up and down to rotate through. This being a touring style bike, we do have cruise control, always handy to see. And also another thing that's a beautiful thing to have, not this time of year when it's 23 degrees, but we do have heated grips as standard. And the heated grips have got 10 different heating settings that you can have. My BMW have got 2. Hot or really hot. So it's nice that Yamaha have given you so many different kind of levels, increment levels, so you can adjust it to kind of get the right temperature for you. Some of the other parameters that you can adjust as well. This bike does have slide control, it's got brake control and lift control, i.e. anti-wheelie. And that's a good thing with this engine, is if you want to have a little bit of fun, you can obviously turn off the anti-wheelie and have a little bit of fun. And then when you're done having your fun, you then realise you're on a comfortable upright seated position with a big screen and panniers, and you can do a nice bit of touring in comfort and carry all your drinks with you. On the side of electronics but also suspension, the GT comes with semi-active electronic suspension. The Tracer 9 doesn't, so that's going to be your biggest difference between the 9 and the GT. It's going to be this upgraded suspension. So far on these back roads, absolutely no dramas, but I always recommend, if you do get a bike with electronic suspension, go and play around with it, adjust the settings, see what works, see if it makes a big difference, and then kind of fine tune it for yourself. Slow speed handling then whilst we're going through this little town, 20 miles an hour, the bike just flicks really easily, handles really nicely. Right, going through little towns of this with traffic or car parks, no drama. I know last year when I test rode the Tracer 9 GT, I had it for a few days, and when I was wearing jeans I had no dramas with like vibrations in the back. When I was wearing my textiles, I couldn't get my hips wide enough, so it was forced me into a weird seated position, and I think I was getting a lot of vibrations through the back of the bum. Obviously I'm wearing my jeans today, but if I just sit at the back, I mean, there's some vibrations, like engine vibrations, but there's not that same feeling as there was for last year. I couldn't tell you what it was, but it was definitely when I was wearing a different trousers and I was sitting in a different position. But today, jeans, where I'm sitting, no vibrations in the bum, and then just kind of usual standard vibrations through the handlebars and the pegs, but nothing to shout home about. Into some faster back roads here. See if I can make my way past. Make sure the rider mode is in 1. Okay, so previously I was obviously going a lot slower, kind of town speed. Back there, going through the faster twisties, when you are getting on it, there are definitely a lot more vibrations on the hands and yes, the seat. But that's when you're in the lower gear and you're having a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? You're not 6th gear kind of just poodling along. You're keeping it in the right rev range. But the brakes are really progressive. There's enough bite when you start getting onto it and you start really getting on the brakes. So I'm just making sure Zoe's coming. And the suspension handles really well. But yeah, when twisting in the lower gear, there are some vibrations. One of them, if you do 80% of your kind of riding like casual, smooth, gentle, then you won't have any joy on this. You won't really notice the vibrations. Then just that 20% when you're getting on it and you're in the twisties and you're out with the boys, then you'll notice it. I'm going to pull over, we'll have a little walk around, and then I'll show you some of the extras that come with this bike as standard. Here we are then, let's have a look at around. Here we are then, let's have a look around the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT. As you can tell, this is the one in red. I believe this is the 2022 colours. For 23, you are going to get 2 different colour options. It's going to be a white or a black. I think they both look really nice, but I actually like the black with the semi-active suspension, because obviously it's got the kind of gold forks. Looks nicer. We've got a nice low underslung exhaust, and actually the exhaust note from it, whilst in the back roads, it sounds pretty good for a stock exhaust. But if you do want to save yourself a few kilos, you can change that out. What I really like with this bike is you get hard case panniers as standard. So yeah, we do have a tall screen, but the standard screen is pretty tall. Cruise control, heated grips, and hard panniers, not bad for the price range. The price for this bike is only £13,110, and I say only because I feel you do get quite a lot for that kind of price tag. I did mention the touring pack, obviously tall screen, centre stand, and then a 50-litre rear box. I'm really looking forward to actually testing the Tracer 9 GT Plus in comparison to this, because that's only a little bit more, another £1,000 or so. But I like the new screen over this 20. Also, that's got the adaptive cruise control. But this review is the Tracer 9 GT. GT Plus will be coming very soon. It's enough walking around. I'm gonna go get a drink and see you back on the road. Well, a well-earned lunch break there, but we are now back on the bikes. So whilst I'm stationary, I'm 6'1", seat height of between 8'10" and 8'25". So I assume you can go under the seat and adjust between those two. But both my feet are just about not flat, so there's probably only a few mil from the heels stopping them being flat. More than enough of my feet on the ground to give me kind of good control and stability when at traffic lights. Let's get this show on the road. We've got a good size tank between our legs, 18 litres. Where this has got some decent fuel economy, fuel efficiency, you're going to get around 200 to 250 miles per tank. So definitely nothing to worry about when you are going on any trips. Whether you're stationary or moving like this, the weight of the bike feels nice and light, coming in at 220 kilos, so it's not the lightest bike, but you don't feel the weight unless you're trying to maneuver this thing uphill. Then you definitely do. Being a bike orientated for touring, it's nice that Yamaha also give you a charging capability. So under the left TFT screen, just kind of tucked in, is a USB charger. So whether you want to charge your cameras, sat nav phone or whatever, you'll be able to charge it nice and easy. One thing I got to say, actually, I did get the rider modes wrong earlier, my bad. I'll admit when I'm wrong. So on the GT, there's 4 rider modes. 1 and 2 are your sportiest. 3 is your kind of dulled down a little bit, and then 4 is going to be the most kind of most held back, should we say. So basically 1 and 2 are your sport, 3 is your road, and 4 is your like rain mode. And that's something you can definitely tell when you switch in between the rider modes. The throttle response is really nice and docile in 4, so absolutely perfect for rain mode. Rain mode? When it's wet. This engine is lively, but even in mode 1, it's not ballistic lively. Like, you twist the throttle, she picks up speed nicely, but it is not launch you into the oblivion type speed. I'd say it's been remapped, kind of changed a little the way the bike makes its power over the MT-09, because that thing, when you put it into your sport mode, it's fun. Take off anti-wheelie and that thing will liven up, whereas this doesn't have that kind of same crazy feel, that punch to the throttle. But you know what, you get in this bike because you're going to be doing more touring, you're going to be doing more kind of relaxed riding. So do you always want something that is going to break your neck every time you start twisting the throttle? No you don't. Today I have enjoyed my time on the Tracer 9 GT, but I am looking forward to getting onto the Tracer 9 GT Plus. Let's see what all the fuss is about. Yamaha claim it's their most technologically advanced touring bike, so let's see. Guys, if you have enjoyed watching this video, please make sure you like the video. More importantly, subscribe to the channel. We have got reviews coming out weekly, and obviously I will be taking out the GT Plus very soon. Also, don't forget Zoe testing out the MT-09. If you want to watch that, you need to subscribe. And until the next time, ride safe.